Will Kentucky Sports Radio host Matt Jones run for Congress next year? That's a question many are still asking.
Jones has said he would make a decision by Big Blue Madness, which is tomorrow night, but now he's pushing back that deadline. Bill Bryant has more in the bottom line.
Good evening. It's by a razor-thin margin, but for the first time in modern history, a Kentucky congressional district has a majority Republican registration. There are 11 more Republicans than there are Democrats registered in the 4th congressional district. That is mostly northern Kentucky. Each of Kentucky's other 5 congressional districts has more registered Democrats than Republicans. Kentucky Sports Radio host Matt Jones continues to consider a run for Congress next year from central Kentucky. He's told his listeners that he is headed to Washington next week to talk with Democrats who want him to run. Jones had originally said that he would make a decision by the time of Big Blue Madness, which is tomorrow. Now he's pushed his timetable back to after the November election. Meanwhile, incumbent Republican Congressman Andy Barr continues to raise money as he prepares to defend his seat next year. He's also been working with Keeneland in support of a congressional bill that would create national standards for horse racing. In the governor's race, which will be decided in just 19 days, Democrat Jack Conway says he hopes health care will come up during the 2 remaining televised debates, but he told CN2 he will not agree to a challenge from Republican Matt Bevin for a debate solely focused on health care. Bevin proposed a single topic debate after the Kentucky Health Cooperative announced last week that it will not offer plans going forward. The next televised debate will be on WKYT October 25th from the EKU Center for the Arts. It's in partnership with the League of Women Voters and Louisville TV station WLKY. The CBS Evening News will have more about President Obama's decision to keep more troops in Afghanistan. That's coming up at 6:30. I'm Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Kentucky's jobless rate is now at its lowest in more than a decade. The unemployment rate for September is 5%. That's down from 5.2% in August. This month's rate was less than 1% lower than this time last year. This is the lowest rate for the state in more than 14 years.
Now, a former police officer is charged with attempted murder after a standoff in Madison County.
A rare weeknight football game at Commonwealth Stadium could mean traffic delays across the city. We'll have the latest on the traffic situation coming up.
And a Pike County deputy's widow is trying to make sure her husband's killer doesn't get released from prison anytime soon.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. Some terrifying moments for a Madison County family. Police arrested a former Berea police officer after a 7-hour standoff.
Police were called out to the home on Raven Drive early this morning. They say that Harold Hill barricaded himself inside his home with his wife, son, and 16-year-old grandson. After 7 hours, police finally arrested Hill. Tonight in our top story at 5:30, Victor Puente is talking to neighbors who say they woke up to gunfire.
State police say when officers first approached this house, Harold Hill fired several shots at them. That started the standoff that ended with him being tased and arrested. State police say they were called around 3 this morning when 58-year-old Harold Hill got into a fight with his son and shots were fired.
I was told he had numerous weapons inside the home, as well as a lot of ammunition.
They say his wife, son, and grandson were able to leave the home, but when police arrived, Hill fired several shots at them.
I asked my husband what it was, and he said, well, those are gunshots.
That started a standoff that lasted almost 7 hours.
To my understanding, he just came out onto the porch unarmed and proceeded to give himself up.
Hill is a former police officer who served with the Berea police from the mid-'80s to 2004. Neighbors say they've never had any problems on this street until today.
I feel sad for her and the grandson. Yes, I do. I really do. Because she was beside herself this morning. I can't say that I wouldn't have been too. I'm surely would have.
Police say they believe alcohol was involved. Some of those bullets struck a nearby home. Others hit an RV and truck parked down the street. I searched Madison County court records to see if Hill had any previous arrests. The only records I could find attached to his name were the cases he had worked as an officer. In Madison County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Hill is in the Madison County Detention Center. He is charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of a police officer. Okay, the kickoff is underway, or countdown to kickoff is underway. Thousands of UK fans heading to Commonwealth Stadium for the big primetime matchup between the Wildcats and those Auburn Tigers. Let's take a look at Sky First video of Commonwealth Stadium. As you can see there, the parking lot is filling up. This is the first weeknight home game for the Cats in more than 75 years. Look at that crowd for the concert as well. But it also means some major traffic delays for people driving around the Lexington area. Let's check in now with Officer Don to see where you can expect the biggest delays around town. Don, how goes it out there?
Well, surprisingly, the biggest delays are not so much around Commonwealth Stadium right now. Inbound Commonwealth Stadium, inbound Nicholasville Road, Alumni, it's manageable toward the stadium. But we're seeing a lot of overflow traffic, like on the Circle. It's stop and go at the moment between Purcell's Road over to Nicholasville Road. Also, Keeneland traffic with Purcell's Road in and outbound at Van Orr, very heavy and slow. And it's impacting the north side on Newtown Pike from Nicholasville Road to the Circle, a 15 to 20-minute delay in that area. One more thing on the Circle itself between Liberty and Richmond Road. Normally you're dealing with about an 8-minute backup there. It's about 30 right now. Now back to you guys on the ground.
All right, Officer Don, thank you. Well, UK fans heading out to tonight's game might want to grab maybe a jacket or a sweater because temperatures are going to drop tonight, making it for a fairly chilly evening.
Meteorologist Jim Caldwell's here now with an early look at that forecast. Hi, Jim.
I know it looks fine out there right now, guys, because it is. I mean, we're running in the upper 60s, low 70s, but once the sun sets, that chill will start to filter in. So you will need that jacket for sure, and you want to hold on to it as long as you can, because you're going to need it over the next few days. But at the moment, we are, as I mentioned, upper 60s, low 70s, and mostly 70s in this particular graphic here. Jackson, the cooler spot, coming in at 68 degrees. But all of us seeing very similar sights in the sky, and that is a lot of sunshine and very little cloud cover. But we do have some that will be on the move. Defender tracking a whole lot of nothing out there for you, and that'll continue to be the case, I think, for the next several hours. Overnight, that's when we'll try to change things up, but as we head through the rest of the evening, we'll call it mostly clear around 7. Clouds begin to increase around 9 because we'll start seeing some of those drifting in from the northern skies. Temperature staying steady there in the 50s. At 11 o'clock, mostly cloudy, 58, as the front is on the move, and the front is really going to dive into the area tonight and change things up completely. Tomorrow, we're only at 60 for a high, period. I'll track that coming up for you in just a few minutes.
The man responsible for killing a Pike County deputy could be released from jail soon, but the deputy's widow is trying to make sure that doesn't happen. Police arrested David Wayne Childers in January of 2012 after he hit Deputy James Thacker head-on while intoxicated. Childers pled guilty to manslaughter charges and received 20 years in prison. He's now eligible for parole, but as Heather Burrian tells us, Thacker's widow has started a petition hoping to keep Childers behind bars.
So every weekend, we spend at home with the grandkids.
Picture after picture.
It reminds me that he was here.
Is a snapshot of James Thacker's life. The reserve deputy sheriff from Pike County, Kentucky took an oath to serve and protect others until the day he couldn't even protect himself.
You know, there's the good days. There's days that I have great memories, and I'll hear a song on the radio, or I'll go by and see a police car and I tear up.
In January 2012, Thacker was in his cruiser when a speeding driver smashed into him. He was killed instantly.
Every bone in his body was broken. The only bones that were not broken was in his right arm.
David Childers pleaded guilty to second-degree manslaughter charges and was sentenced to 20 years. Police have said he was intoxicated. 4 years into his sentence, he's up for parole.
I just felt like I couldn't just sit here and not do anything.
So his widow, Kathy Thacker Casey, created a petition on change.org asking the state's political powers to keep Childers behind bars.
So I just started sharing it on Facebook. I started getting on the police websites.
Already more than 500 people have signed. She's hoping for 1,000 by the parole hearing in November.
And I feel like if I sit back and let David Childers get parole and not try to do something about it, then I'm doing something wrong.
Thacker Casey says it's a little bit of comfort when almost all she has to remember the man she loves is picture after picture.
That was Heather Burrian reporting. Casey Thacker will be meeting with the parole board in November.
A former high school teacher accused of having a sexual relationship with a student has agreed to a plea deal. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Scott County. The news graphic reporting that Elizabeth Alexander accepted an offer from prosecutors to plead guilty to a reduced charge of unlawful transaction with a minor. Police say that she admitted to kissing and touching a 15-year-old in her classroom at Scott County High School and asked him to text her a sexually explicit picture. She resigned from the school last year. In Pike County, police have charged a bus driver with rape. A warrant says that Kenneth Brown had sex with a 12-year-old girl at least 5 times between August and October of 2015. And the Pike County superintendent says that Brown was a bus driver in the East Ridge area. He is in the Pike County Detention Center. And in Knox County, firefighters are trying to figure out what started a fire at a home early this morning. Police believe the fire started around 4:30 and was finally contained about 6. We're told that at least 2 people were taken to the hospital. Investigators say they have not ruled out arson as a possible cause.
New tonight, a massive cleanup is underway after a fire destroyed a Louisville church. The fire started in an attached garage on Beechwood Avenue, then spread to a vacant house and then to In Christ Church and Ministries. About 70 firefighters helped put out the fire. One firefighter had to be taken to the hospital for a fractured wrist. Investigators still aren't sure what started that fire. Louisville's needle exchange program is now spreading to the suburbs. Starting next Thursday, the city's community exchange site will open at Lake Dreamland Fire Station. Health officials say they hope to be able to open other neighborhood sites where people can swap dirty needles for clean ones. The goal of the program is to prevent the spread of HIV and hepatitis C. Health officials say since the program started, more than 900 people have participated and more than 100 have voluntarily tested for HIV. Tonight, we are learning more about a data breach involving T-Mobile customers. The state attorney general's office says the breach affected 134,000 Kentuckians. T-Mobile checked the victim's credit using Experian from September through the 16th. Stolen information includes names, addresses, social security numbers, birthdays, and driver's license numbers.
If you think all the traffic and out-of-town visitors are making it a little crazy out there today around Lexington, just wait until Breeders' Cup in 2 weeks. Our good question, I hear it's hard to find a hotel room in Lexington the week of Breeders' Cup. Is that true? Lexington has about 8,000 motel rooms, and the week of Breeders' Cup, many are already taken. I talked to Mary Quinn Raymer of Visit Lex about the demand for rooms.
There are actually very little inventory left in our hotels in Lexington.
Really?
Yes.
Very little, as in?
As in, it changes hourly, but very, very little.
Raymer says even though Breeders' Cup is Friday and Saturday, October 30th and 31st, many out-of-town folks will be here in the days leading up to that weekend. So reservations for restaurants downtown and so forth have already happened. If you have a good question, go to WKYT.com.